Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite things in the whole world, and that is chords. Really, very simply, chords. But in particular, some voicings that get used a lot in acoustic blues. Again, this is something that I use a lot in I'll say playing by myself. Solo acoustic blues, like I do in Acoustic Blues Guitar Unleashed. These chords just come up everywhere in my playing. In a lot of playing, right? It's not just me. Everybody loves these chords. I didn't I didn't get these out of thin air. I stole them fair and square, just like everything else. So let's jump in and let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look at an E7 chord, now you're probably used to seeing E7 like this, right? But if you look at the far left chord right there, you'll see first finger at second fret of the fourth string, third fret there at the fourth fret of the third string, middle finger at the third fret of the second string, and my pinky is at the fourth fret of the first string. That is the root, the E, the B, which is the fifth. This is the D natural, which is the flatted seventh, and the G sharp, which is the third. Now, root, third, fifth, flat seventh. Those are the four notes in the chord. The lowest note that I'm playing is the root, so we say this is root position. If I rearrange all of those notes, I get the second chord that you'll see on your screen, which is the 6th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. And that is the third in the bass, the flatted 7th, the root, and the 5th. And because the third of the chord is in the bass, we say that's first inversion. You don't necessarily have to know that. You don't necessarily have to care. I'm just letting you know. Then we have a bar across the 9th fret with the 10th fret on the top string. So 9, 9, 9, 10. And that is second inversion because that's the fifth on the bass. Fifth, root, third, seventh. And finally, way up here, it's almost hard to do this on this one, but I'm barring at the 12th fret with my middle finger at the 13th fret of the second string. Flatted 7, 3rd, 5th, root. And that's a challenge. You may have a hard time playing that with that one depending on how your guitar is laid out. If I have to cut away, it's pretty easy. On this guitar, that's a bit of a challenge. So you'll notice they have these four shapes. Those are the four chord inversions. There's the first root position, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion. If I didn't mention that earlier, it is third inversion. And that's all of them, based around an E. Now, of course, things would change if I played it in A. The lowest note, or the lowest voicing, would be second inversion, third inversion, root position, first inversion. Right? If I was playing the B, I actually would probably use the first inversion, take advantage of the open string down here, but if I didn't want to, there's second inversion right there. 4th fret. This is the 5th fret up here. Right? And then the third inversion. And first root position, not first inversion. I could even almost kind of reach first inversion way up there. Okay, so those are the four inversions, okay? And these work for any chord, right? I could have done it in G, I could have done it in C, I could have done it in any. I did E, A, and B because it's what we're working with. Here is the goal. And I'll just be very, very plain about this. I've been teaching guitar for almost 40 years. A long time, okay? Now, admittedly, the first few years I probably learned more than I taught. I get that. Most guitar teachers do. However, I am getting close to 40 years of teaching guitar. I've taught I can't even count how many, private students over the years, thousands, I'm sure, tens of thousands, probably, hundreds of thousands online over the years. It's just a lot. Okay, so when I tell you that you have to be able to move between those voicings at 60 beats a minute, that is nature's speed limit. If you can do it at 58, it's not going to be there for you when you try to play it musically in a song. If you can do it at 60, you can do it at 65, you can do it at 70, great, no problem. 60 seems to be the magic number. And I have literally had students walk in the door that could do it at 58, and then we tried to put it in music and it didn't work. Once they got it up to 60, it was no problem. Okay, so it really, really does seem to matter. So how are you going to do that? Quite simply, you would take yourself a metronome. Now you can't see it and you can't hear it on purpose, but I have a metronome right off to the side here that is blinking at me so that I know 60 beats per minute. So I'm going to tap my foot along with this. And again, I know you can't hear it, but I can, so you're going to have to trust me. So what I want to be able to do is play through these voicings once. I'm just going to strike one every time every time it ticks, right? Every time there's a new beat, I'm going to be on a new chord. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And you should be able to probably do this more than once. And really kind of go back and forth and do it as many times as you might need to do it. And the fact that I can both do it and talk to you at the same time tells you I've got this down pretty good. Okay, let me do it once without talking at you while I do it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you would want to be able to do the same thing with, the A or the B or C or D or whatever chord. But I assure you that if you can do it with E and you can get between the 4 different voicings and your fingers will make those moves, it'll be pretty easy to then do it on an A and then on a B and then on a G and then on a C and whatever notes you want to choose. It's going to be a whole lot easier to do. Once you get the first one down, your fingers know how to make the chords. The chord shapes don't change, only the notes change. And it'll be good for you to find those different notes. So what your goal is to try to get to where you can make those chord changes at 60 beats a minute. Now, for our song, we're actually going to go a little bit quicker than that in some respects, but a little bit slower than that in others. So, because we're going to do like... We're going to move through them, but we're going to be playing them in triplets. So you don't have to make the moves quite as quickly, but you do have to get there fairly quickly. So again, just take some time with it. Practice on it. Get it under your fingers. We're going to take all of this stuff. We're going to take the blues in E pattern. We're going to take the turnaround. We're going to take the licks that we learned and the E minor blues scale. We're going to take these little chords. We're going to put these all together into a 24-bar blues song. And that's going to be that. You're going to have all of this stuff. And this is exactly the way I do it in Acoustic Blues Guitar Unleashed. So hopefully you're getting a feel for how this works, if that might be something that's good for you. As always, I'll leave a link to it near this video. You can check it out for yourself. But if you like this kind of stuff, if you're into it, I think that very well may be the thing that you're looking for. So I'm going to say farewell for this video, give you a chance to practice on these chord shapes, and I will see you soon with another video. We'll put this all together. As always, I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and I'll talk to you soon.